You know, we speak about Donald Trump shutdowns, net approval rating. We're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen, this shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point. And the first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
So it turns out the government shutdown, which has been taking place for 21 days as of today, it's actually not hurting Trump politically. His poll numbers indicate that he's not falling, but rising in approval. Okay, just wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
Now let me just get my stool back. Okay, but in all seriousness, the government shutdown is ongoing, right? And now Democrats are a little bit concerned that they're gonna be blamed for it, even though, I mean, look, there's truth to that, right? They are holding out for an extension on the Affordable Care Act subsidies so the healthcare premiums of Americans don't double. And I think that is a worthy cause. The Republican Party appears to be immovable on this issue. They don't care about the Affordable Care Act. And honestly, if the premiums do double, it will hurt Republicans politically. We just don't want it to get to that because Americans are gonna suffer, right? So we're gonna get to all of the fears that Democrats have in terms of their strategy in just a minute, but any initial thoughts, Cenk?
Yeah, so I think that was a little misleading. So there's so many things going on now. So it's not like, oh, the government shut down and Trump is becoming more popular. He did a theoretical peace deal that helped him tremendously, right? Now, we think it's not a real peace deal, but it was a good effort and certainly it was well received by the country. So you got to take that into account. You can't just say, oh, the numbers are moving up by a point, so that means he's winning this. But of course, the Democrats are also bungling this.
Well, they are bungling it, and I'm curious why you think that. We'll get to that in just a minute, but before we get to the Democrats and whether or not they're bungling this whole government shutdown thing, why don't we hear a little more from Harry Enton and just really savor the animated nature in which he delivers this information to you.
Blame Trump for the shutdown, a great deal. In 2018/2019, 61%, more than 3 in 5 Americans blame Trump, a great deal for that particular shutdown. You come over to this side of the screen, look at this. It's a different world, it's a different world. 48% of Americans blame Trump a great deal for this particular shutdown. The legislative process is basically freezed up, on Capitol Hill. You may say, well, then he can't actually get legislation through. But that's not how Trump is governing in this term. We've spoken about this over and over and over again. He's using his pen. He's using executive orders. Trump executive orders at this point of presidency. In 2017, it was just 50. Look at this, already 210 executive orders signed by Donald Trump during this presidency. That is the most in a year. You have to go all the way back since Franklin Delano Roosevelt to find a president who signed more executive orders in a year than Donald Trump has already signed this time around.
Okay, so it is not a good sign when the federal government runs on executive orders. We're supposed to have 3 co-equal branches of government. You guys get the point. Congress is just pathetic. And look, the focus on Trump and his approval rating in relation to the government shutdown, I don't think makes much sense because this is really based on what Congress is up to. And the Democrats have essentially made a name for themselves, especially in the Senate, when it comes to making demands in order to get a government funding bill passed. So of course, we should focus on what people think about Democrats versus Republicans on this matter. And lo and behold, we do have some polling on it. A Reuters Ipsos poll found that 50% of respondents see the Republican congressional leadership as deserving the most blame for the shutdown, while 43% see top congressional Democrats as the main culprits. It also asked Americans about the issue at the heart of the government shutdown, and this is really important because this is what the Democrats should focus on. Instead, they bungled this by adding on a bunch of other peripheral garbage that is being dealt with in the courts. So for instance, some 72% of respondents, including almost all Democrats and half of Republicans, said the discounts, meaning the extension of the ACA subsidies should be kept in place compared to just 22% who said they should be ended. Among those favoring the subsidies, 60% said that they were important enough to keep the government closed until the deal is reached to keep them in place, while 37% said lawmakers should find a way to keep the subsidies after the government reopens. Okay, so what Democrats are doing now is, instead of being hyper-focused on one ask, one incredibly important ask, now they're saying, we want all of the federal workers who got laid off to be rehired. Okay, but that's, by the way, making progress through the courts. So let the courts handle that. Focus on one thing and drive the message home. It is a popular issue. You guys are on the right side of the issue. Focus on that. That's way more consequential than all the other things that you're trying to tack onto this, which muddies the water and the strategy.
Yeah, so there's two different things here. One is who's at fault, another is who's playing the politics better and worse. So in the real world, what they need here is 60 votes in the Senate, which you remember, of course, during the Democratic years. That was very frustrating to the Democrats, theoretically. I think they actually loved it. But that blocked almost all progressive priorities, right? So here, the Republicans are blocked because they need 60 votes in the Senate, so they need a bunch of Democrats to say yes to the continuing resolution. Now, they are arrogant, and to be fair to them, they have gotten used to Democratic surrender. So they turn to the Democrats and go, why don't you surrender like you always do? And this time around, because of so much public pressure, the Democrats, in a very rare case, are saying, we're gonna try not surrendering. So the other day I got a new mattress. My old mattress sucked. It had all these grooves, you'd fall into them, you couldn't get out. It was a disaster. So I got a Lisa mattress, love it. Finally some peace and rest. So I did their cute little mattress quiz. Even their quizzes are cute. Anyways, it turns out my favorite is a Legend Chill Hybrid. I'm not saying that that's an accurate description of my personality as well. I'm just saying. So I got it, I tried it. There we go, love it. Now getting some peace and rest. You guys gotta check it out. Oh, plus they do really good things in the world. They actually have given away thousands of mattresses to people in need, and they help to clean our oceans. What else do you want? So this is the kind of win-win we love at TYT. Check them out. Go to Lisa.com for 20% off, plus get an extra $50 off with promo code TYT. That's exclusive to our viewers. That's LEESA.com. Promo code TYT for 20% off, plus an extra $50 off. Support our show and let them know that we sent you after checkout. Lisa.com, promo code TYT. If you want our votes, you have to just at least give us one thing, which was the healthcare premiums in the beginning. So whose fault is it? It is not the Democrats' fault for not surrendering. In order to get your votes, they have to give you something. Elementary politics, inarguable.
Right.
All the Republicans would have to say, no, even though we need their votes, we should give them nothing and they should like it. Well, that's not how politics works, right? So why didn't you do likewise when we were trying to do higher minimum wage and paid family leave, et cetera? Okay, so that's reality. Now, in terms of the politics and how people perceive it, that's where the Democrats always bungle it, right? So right now, Democratic senators can't wait to surrender. So we're gonna give you more about that in a second, right? So why? But you got 72% of the country agrees with you on your main ask, the healthcare premiums. What do you want? You got 72% of the country on your side. Go fight. Go all over TV. Anna's absolutely right. Keep it to one ask, and then say the Republicans want our vote. We will give them our vote. Not for anything for the donors, but for something for the American people, for the premiums to not double, okay? That's such a clear and convincing argument. But the Democrats suck at this, partly because they're terrible politicians. But the second half is, why are they looking to surrender when they have every advantage on their side? Because they're getting pressure from the donors. Okay, hurry up, Lockheed Martin needs the next contract, let's go. Pfizer needs this, ExxonMobil needs that. Shut up and open the government, okay? Surrender, hurry up and surrender, right? And that's why there's pressure that explains the mystery of why Democrats would even consider surrendering when they have 72% on their side.
Yeah, you're totally right about this. Now, The Hill published a piece where they quoted a bunch of anonymous Democrats in the Senate, and they're worried. They really are. They're worried that, well, it seems like they are wanting to just kind of go along with what Republicans want, to reopen the government, but they're concerned about how Democratic constituents, voters, are going to react to it. So for instance, one anonymous Senate Democrat stated that people are going to get hammered, meaning the senators are going to get hammered, if they vote for the House-passed bill to reopen the government. Another says that, are there enough Democrats to join Republicans to reopen the government? Not in the near term. There is no bipartisan conversation that's anything but BS. The senator said that centrist Democratic colleagues would vote to open the government yesterday if left to their own devices.
Of course.
But don't want to risk an angry backlash from the base. Hey, Democratic base, good job. And again, I don't like that the government is shut down, but I also think it's important to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies so premiums don't double. That's an incredibly important bread and butter ask. And so again, hyper focus on that, drive the message home, don't tack on other issues and muddy the waters, but who knows? I mean, we'll see how this all plays out. So far, 3 senators in the Democratic caucus have voted to end the government shutdown without any concessions from the Republicans. I think the names I'm about to read are gonna be unsurprising to you. Among them, Senator John Fetterman, Senator Catherine Cortez Mastro, and independent senator, to be fair, Angus King.
Yeah. Fetterman betraying the Democrats on the 288th issue in a row. Who could have figured? Working for the donor class as usual. What a piece of crap he is. All right, so guys, no one notes the most obvious things in the world, so let me do it. Why do the Democratic senators feel the urge to defy their voters in the first place?
Because they specialize in that? I don't know.
Weren't you elected as representatives of your voters? They're like, goddamn voters, I want to surrender and they won't let me. And no reporter asks, wait, why don't you want to do what your voters want?
Could it be the donors?
Of course, literally no reporter in any article I have ever seen has asked, what's wrong with your voters? Why do you not like your voters? Why do you disagree with your voters? And by the way, there might be a real reason for that, right? It might be like, hey, listen guys, I know that popular opinion is going in this direction, but I have an excellent argument that says it's not exactly right and you're missing this, and here's why we should act that way. Not one Democratic senator has explained why the Democratic voters are wrong. No one even talks about it. You could go read 100 articles on this and you won't find one that explains why the Democratic senators are against their own voters and why those voters are wrong. You know why? Because the voters aren't wrong. The senators are wrong, and the mystery is the senators want to follow their donors 10,000 times more than their voters, but the mainstream media can't tell you that. They're sworn to secrecy and never ever talk about the donor class. So if you're a normal person out there reading national media, you'll be utterly confused as to why Democratic senators don't want to do what Democratic voters want to do. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.